Alrighty, so I just reviewed the Microsoft E3 press conference and now I'm going to do the Sony press conference, and I was much happier with the Sony one because they actually have exclusive games and they don't focus on stupid things that we don't need, like, you know, music and ESPN on, you know, your game console. Although I think they did talk about a few things like that that were coming to the PlayStation 3, but the thing is they only spent 5 minutes talking about the entire new things that they're going to be coming with, like for apps and things that, you know, gaming consoles don't need, but it would be nice, or not nice, but it's kind of cool that they have them. Whereas Microsoft will spend half their entire conference talking about those kinds of things. Anyway, let's get into the meat of this stuff, which is actual games. They started it off with like a montage of all the games. That was kind of cool. I just didn't really like the music. I find that those montages are really cool if you have cool music to it, but I don't know who it was. It's I can't remember his name, but I don't care for that artist. Anyway, let's get on to the next one that they showed, which was Beyond, which is a new exclusive game that comes from the creators of Heavy Rain, which I still have not played yet, but I do own. Here. Still in the seal, but anyway, yeah, so I haven't played it yet, but I do plan on playing it, and especially before this game comes out. They're not connected in any way that I can tell at all, but it's just from the creators of them, and it looks really cool. The only problem that I have with it is that the main character is played by Ellen Page, the girl from Juno. She's cool in Inception, she's alright in Inception, but I really don't like her. I do not like that actress. But she's the main character, and it's about after death, and apparently I think she can kind of see stuff in, you know, in the past, in the afterlife, past life, future life. I'm like, no, afterlife. That's the word I'm looking for. I think she can see ghosts or something like that because she's talking to somebody at one point, and she also has powers. It starts it off with, and then the graphics look really good. See, graphics aren't the most amazing thing about video games, but if you have them, you know, I don't know where I'm getting at. I like the graphics for this game. They look really good. It looks like Ellen Page. And then the there was a cop that she's with who's talking to her at the beginning, and he looked really awesome too. And I actually think that I know that actor. And then they had like a SWAT team come in because apparently she's really powerful. But it all starts off really slow, and then there's only one creepy part where the coffee goes flying into the air, and the guy's like, okay, I'm gonna go check my desk over there, because he's all freaked out. And the SWAT team comes in, and then they just quickly show like a montage of like crazy stuff going on, and it looks very action-packed. And I think that Ellen Page has some supernatural powers, other than just being able to talk to ghosts, because I think she can talk to ghosts. That's what they're kind of leading towards. But either way, definitely looks like an awesome game, and I think I'll pick that up day one and actually play it day one. Whereas this game, it's not that I didn't want to play this game, I just didn't have a PlayStation 3, so I'm having to go through like the entire PlayStation 3 library. That's like my PlayStation 3 section, like these games, those games, and I'm just trying to pick away at all the games that I have to go through. So that's why I haven't played this right away. But this game, I think I actually will. Then they showed PlayStation AllStars, the kind of like Super Smash Bros. Type of game for Sony, and it looks really good. The thing is that for this one you have to there's no damage, I think. You just have to start hitting people long enough that eventually you get your gauge up, and then you get like a super, and then you can use your super to try to kill people then, if you hit them correctly, and then you can get up to like, I don't know, there's a second level and a third level, and if you're like at the third level, you're basically unstoppable. And like this one guy, Sweet Tooth, he got up to the third level, and he went into like his giant machine, and he killed like his three opponents, and then one guy respawned just in time for him to kill him again. So he killed like 4 people. So it just really looks like there's a lot going on. It looks like a fun fighter. I don't really care for fighters, but things like Super Smash Bros. And this game, I will pick up. I don't know if it would be a day one buy. Maybe when it's down to like the $40 range as opposed to the $60, then I would pick it up. But we'll see how it gets to the point whenever it is released, and if my hype goes up, maybe I'll pick it up. First day. Next they were talking, I just wrote this, I don't know if this is in the exact order of things, but they talked about I think this is near the end, but I wrote it down here. The PlayStation Plus subscribers are getting 12 free games in June. I should have looked at that. They were talking about like a bunch of games that are now going to be available for download, like Infamous 2, and a bunch of other games. I don't know if they were saying that those are the 12 free games that you're going to be getting, like full retail games that have been out for a while, or you're just getting like 12 like free games, kind of like Journey and like Fat Princess, like downloadable game. I don't know how that works, but everybody there seemed quite happy with it. Another one that's coming to the Vita is PlayStation 1 Classic. So you're going to be able to play like Final Fantasy VII and Tomb Raider all on the Vita. That's cool. That's really awesome. That's kind of why you want the handheld, so that you can go back and play those type of games. So I think that's a great idea. Then they showed a Black Ops Declassified. So Declassified is going to be the Vita version of Call of Duty. I think they didn't really talk about it. They say in the upcoming months they'll be talking about it, but I think that it's going to be kind of separate from Black Ops 2, and it's kind of going to be like a different campaign. I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm hoping that's what it is. Another game that they announced for the Vita is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which is a completely new Assassin's Creed game in the Assassin's Creed 3 what did I say? Assassin's Creed 3 universe. So that looks really awesome, and you're going to be playing as the first female lead character for Assassin's Creed, and it looks really, really good for the Vita. So that, I probably won't be picking that up day one, just because there's so many other... It's coming out October 30th, 2012, so that same day that Assassin's Creed 3 comes out. I don't even know if I'm going to be picking up Assassin's Creed 3 on first day, you know, for the consoles, just because that's the busy season. Then they showed some kind of book game that has to do with J.K. Rowling, and it's kind of like how, I don't know, they have like a book and you play over it and you can kind of touch it, and it just has to do with more of the move. It looked kind of cool, but it looked really boring. Like the idea of it seems like a good idea, but it looked like a really boring game. And maybe for kids it would be fun, but as adults, and like they had adults playing it, they were all sitting down and playing it, and they looked really bored and they didn't know what to do. I don't know. It looked like they took people from the audience, but I don't think that's what happened. I don't know. Maybe it was, and I just wasn't paying attention. But I don't even know what it was called. Spell books, maybe? I don't know. Then they showed God of War Ascension. That looks really bloody and aggressive and awesome. And then they ended it off with The Last of Us. So it's not a new title because we knew it was coming out, but that's how you end it off. You end it off with your own exclusive, you know, and it looked really, really good. It kind of looks and plays like Uncharted, but there's more... I don't know. I don't know what else there is to it, but it's just, well, more grittier, obviously, and not as cartoony, and not as adventure-y, and it just looks like, man, this is a messed up world that they live in. And he was just like, the main character was taking on a bunch of people, and the girl was helping out every once in a while, and it looks really cool, and it looks like, you know, ammo is a very important thing in this game, and you eventually pick up different items throughout the game that you can kind of use, other than like to create distractions. And I can't even remember what he did. He picked something up and he took it out of his backpack, and he used it, but I don't remember, because I was just like, I don't know, paying attention to everything else, and I was kind of writing down all the things that I wanted to talk about. So there you go. That's Sony's. I really enjoyed Sony's press conference a lot more than Microsoft, just because Microsoft, you know, they started off strong with Halo 4 and then it just went downhill from there pretty much. Whereas Sony, they showed games that, you know, most of them were exclusives to their own. They did show Assassin's Creed 3 apart from that game. Did they show anything else that's multi-platform? They talked about Black Ops, but they didn't really show anything. And it was for the Vita anyway, and I think that might just be a completely different campaign, which is awesome. So that's two Vita games that are going to be coming out, the Black Ops one and the Assassin's Creed. There was something about Little Big Planet at the very beginning, but I missed it, so I don't know if there's anything going on. Well, there's the kart game that's coming out, and then you're going to be able to connect the Vita to the PlayStation 3, and you can actually use the Vita as a controller for the PlayStation 3, so if you want to play like AllStars or something like that with like 4 people, you can use the Vita actually. I don't know why you would do that, because the Vita controls are really horrible compared to the actual PlayStation 3 controls. Like, this is an awesome controller. That feels normal. The analog sticks are in the right place, whereas the Vita, it's really messed up. Kind of cool that you can use it, but I don't think I'll be using that option. Unless, if you didn't have an extra, if you have 2 controllers and you had a Vita and you had 3 people over, then it would work out okay there, I guess. As long as you don't have to buy an add-on or something like that. If it's just a download or something. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. They started off really strong with the Beyond game. They showed that was their only really new big game, other than, you know, saying that Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation is coming and Black Ops Declassified, but they didn't show anything for Declassified, whereas Liberation they did, and it looks really awesome. There was just more exclusive. I expected a little bit more still from Sony, because last year they just blew me away, but it was at least stronger than Microsoft. Maybe one more exclusive for the console would have been nicer, I think. So there you have it. Day 1 E3.